So, are you sitting on a gold mine? This is a question that I ask many of the clients that I work with. And they're always a little bit like, yeah, that's why we're in business. I get it. I get it. And in my experience, most of my clients are working on just one thing. They're working on satisfying one client in one way for one reason, probably because it's easier to sell that, right? And that's what they have sold. I've certainly done that myself in the past. It's extremely normal. We do what we do, right? We try and simplify it to make it easy for people to understand. But here's what I'm talking about, the hidden assets within your business. So a lot of the time, we employ tools and services in order to solve customer problems. So for instance, in the case of Amazon, which is what this article is about, they developed this thing, or this computer power to drive their website, which they really, really need a lot of over the Christmas. But they noticed that the rest of the year, most of their equipment was underused because they had this massive peak. And so what they did is they started to realize, well, hold on, there's a couple of things we could do. First, peak is a problem. Okay, so we need distributed data centers. So we don't want to be reliant on one thing. We need strength in numbers, and we need to be able to have one sort of data center fall over into the next one should it fail, that kind of thing. So they built this infrastructure, which was very resilient, worked very well. And they built in all this extra overcapacity because they wanted to maximize sales. And who wouldn't? That is exactly why, we look to create tools and solutions because we identify problems. However, the spin-off, right, was that they had all this extra capacity. And so they realized that they could start renting that capacity to third-party companies and see it as a revenue stream, which the neat thing about that was they make a profit, and so they get the return on investment on their investment in their own data center. It's like they get free data centers plus profit. I mean, just in good business practice. We'd all like some of that, right? So that's what I mean by, are you sitting on a gold mine? And the chances are, yes, you are. So how could that be possible, right? And a lot of people that I work with, they compliment me that I stretch their thinking. And when I start talking to them about their gold mine, which we all want, we all consider our business to be our little personal gold mine. Well, the feedback I get is that they expect me to kind of like talk about diversification, to take them, maybe not out of where they're going, but to a place very close to where they already are, another business, but in parallel. But actually, I surprise most people by saying, no. We're going to look internally. We're going to look within your business as it currently is. Because it's within the business and within your customer base that the opportunities exist. So within your customer base, the question is, what other problems do they face? Now, a technologist will often, in the current world, if I add voice to that, if I put AI on that, if I do another technology and layer that in, then my customers will buy it, won't they? Well, will they? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But actually, if you spoke to your customers and got to know your customers and went through the process of what they really need to do, you might just find, and often will find, more problems that they have that you can solve. Now, these are problems that may not have the sexy technology, but they're problems that those customers could pay for. Now, if you can add sexy technology to it as well, you end up with this magic ingredient called uniqueness. So we do need that. So there's two things, problems to solve, and we do want uniqueness. Okay, but there is another route to uniqueness. And it is simply by, again, looking within, what are the tools you already use? For instance, for example, we all use Word or some kind of word processing software, but we know that every document we produce is never the same as the last, is always different. Even if it's an invoice, it's to a different person for a different amount. We produce millions of documents, but we use the same tool, okay? A bespoke package, whether it's Word, whatever. Okay, but every business will have invested some money in some technology, some kind of tool, typically a software tool. And most software is developed so that it's it can be used in many different ways. So what are you using, or how sharp is your axe, right? What are the nuances, the extra special ways that you use the tools and the software within your business to deliver that special, unique result that you deliver in the process of solving problems. I can think of several things, for instance, that I do that my approach is simply to save time in the day to get the job done, whatever job. I got certain jobs that I do regularly, quickly. And I use certain tools for those jobs, certain writing tools typically for me. Often it's not necessarily AI. There's other things that I'm very concerned about, which is, researching, formatting. It's not just let ChatGPT do it because I'd be out of work, but it's much more, directing, thinking, planning, researching, double checking, verifying, so many things that I would do, for example. And most of my clients are all process driven one way or another, looking after customer processes. And I know whenever I have a conversation, the customer processes, that what they're doing, there's more to it. There's more that they would need. And often I'm able to help suggest, leading questions to kind of open up the problem area, to expand on the way that they use the tools that they currently have to develop a uniqueness. But this is only half of the gold mine. Okay, so that's that's the mine that we would source, that we would mine, the mine that we would mine, the mine that we would dig. Okay, that's where the gold is. But we still have to pull it out, deliver it, and find customers who want to buy it. And not everyone wants to buy our gold. Okay, we know that. But so the issue now moves into market validation. And the way I like to think of it is the question of who else? So who else will buy, this problem, or faces this problem, that will pay and buy this solution? Who else is it? And could what we do be considered a premium product? Okay, because if we can package this unique process using the tools that we're very familiar with, solving problems that we know that customers have, and we can package it, it becomes unique. And when we package it, it becomes a kind of a product that we can describe, even if it's a service. We can name it, we can claim it, we can price it. But what we can also do is we can position it. And if we can position, maybe pricing is one way of positioning. So we we make it to a certain extent hard to get, or put it another way, we make it part of a premium package. So if you're in a commodity world, for instance, where everyone buys the same kind of online process, there'll be 20% of the market that would be prepared. This is typical of all markets, that would be prepared to pay for a premium package. And this is where you would put in those premium products. And this is a place where you might find, this is a process that you might apply, where you might find those premium products where you can add to your portfolio. And, there's other things that you can do to create a premium, a personalized service, a kind of service that some customers, about 20%, are prepared to pay for. But the margins on those 20% tend to be so much bigger, because they're prepared to pay more money and because they demand more of you. And the beauty of this is not only do you earn more money and make more margin, in the process of getting closer to those clients, you actually discover more problems that you can solve, right? And so the process tends to be self-perpetuating. In other words, your gold mine just grows and grows. And that's if your who else is actually an internal customer, because sometimes you can take these packages, take these tools and problems and package them up as unique solutions and open up new markets with them. So this is you doing the same kind of service, the same kind of work, employing the same kind of staff, the same tools, okay, maybe overcoming or processing and dealing with the same problems. So in other words, it's not a major change in your business, but it's just applied to an entirely new market. So that's market validation. They're the two basic components of your goal. And if you can achieve these things, you'll know that you're sitting on a lot of gold. Anyway, there we go. I just wanted to get that process, that let you know that it's possible that this is a spin-off. I've seen it a lot. I certainly work with to focus on delivering these kind of outcomes. And if you need, some personalized one-to-one on this, give me a shout. You can book up a call with me, no obligation whatsoever. We can have a chat and just see how it goes, and hopefully help your gold mine. Okay, all right. Bye for now.